of the Bhagavad Gita is about to begin. Enjoy. Key point 1. The war within each of us. Our lives resemble sparrows flitting briefly into the light before vanishing into the unknown. Like a beat of fragile wings, each moment carries us forward, reminding us of our finite time. Yet, we live within the familiar confines of our five senses, rarely considering what lies beyond. Most people prefer the comfort of the known, but a few are compelled to explore what remains invisible to the human eye: the vast landscape of consciousness. These explorers send back glimpses of deeper truths beyond everyday experiences, allowing us to inch closer to the divine. Let go of what you can't control. Stress will slip away, and peace will take its place. Picture this. Dawn breaks over the battlefield, and the piercing call of conch shells fills the air, announcing the start of war. In the heart of this vast plain, two figures stand in a chariot. One is Prince Arjuna, a warrior who is meant to fight, but is paralyzed by doubt and sorrow. Beside him is Krishna, calmly steering their chariot into the shadowed space between two armies. Between them unfolds a conversation. 700 verses carrying truths from the depths of time, fragments of wisdom that reach across ages, calling out with guidance for anyone who listens. In many ways, we are all Arjuna, seeking a voice to guide us through the dark, to push us forward when we falter. Let's lean in and uncover more about the events they endured together. Key point 2. To be heir to the throne of Bharata. We're on the verge of discovering the Song of God. The word Bhagavad traces back to Bhagavan, meaning the divine presence woven through all existence, while Gita translates to song, a tune of timeless wisdom. But why is this melody so powerful, and how did Krishna and Arjuna find themselves on a battlefield? To understand it, we must turn to the Mahabharata, an ancient epic every Hindu child in India grows up with. The Gita unfolds within this vast tale, though it stands alone as a work of wisdom. Long before the dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, two brothers fought for the throne of Bharata. Dhritarashtra, the elder, born blind and thus barred from ruling, and Pandu, whose strength and virtue earned him the crown. But fate proved fickle, and the firstborn took Pandu's place as acting king. His 100 sons, the Kauravas, exiled Pandu's 5 sons, the noble Pandavas, for 13 long years. The Pandavas, including Arjuna, were determined to reclaim their rightful throne and save the kingdom. It was no longer a clash for power. It became a war against their kin, friends, and mentors who once guided them. Some situations are inevitable. Focus on responding with intention and resilience rather than dwelling on the past. As both sides rallied allies from across the land, Krishna, the wise prince of the Yadava clan, stepped into the fray. To many, he appeared as a minor prince, but those who recognized his true nature knew he embodied the power of Vishnu, protector of the universe. It is better to perform one's own duties imperfectly than to master the duties of another. Unknown. Though Krishna wished for Arjuna's victory, he vowed not to fight, taking on the humble role of Arjuna's charioteer out of love and friendship. Arjuna, the greatest warrior among the Pandavas, felt lost as he faced the battlefield. He turned to Krishna, whom he saw as a friend and someone who might have the answers to profound questions about the nature of life, not yet realizing his divine nature. Key point 3. Why death is no longer frightening. After Arjuna expressed his anguish, Krishna began his counsel with a powerful message about dharma, duty. For Arjuna, his dharma as a warrior was to fight, even when the circumstances seemed unbearable. Yet Krishna's teachings extend far beyond the literal battlefield. It's about finding the strength to do what's right, not by rigidly following external rules, but by defining that right from within. When we align our actions with our dharma, we contribute to something greater than ourselves, a cosmic order that may not be immediately visible. Arjuna, overwhelmed by his struggle, could only focus on escaping his immediate pain. In Krishna's eyes, however, this was the perfect moment for Arjuna to learn, whether he realized it or not. Krishna encouraged Arjuna to detach from the immediate outcomes and focus only on the integrity of his actions. At first glance, it might seem like Krishna was indifferent to Arjuna's fate, sending him into a violent battle, but that's far from the truth. According to Krishna, the true self, or Atman, is eternal and cannot be physically destroyed. The body, in contrast, is temporary, akin to a garment that we put on and shed as we move through the cycles of samsara, rebirth. So, death is merely a transition, and the soul continues its journey beyond each life. By seeing your actions as part of a greater whole, you can free yourself from fear of failure. Though Arjuna hesitated, Krishna didn't waver. He reminded the prince that they both lived countless lives, but while Arjuna couldn't recall his past, Krishna remembered it all. Krishna began to lift the veil, giving Arjuna a glimpse of his true nature, not merely a loyal friend or skilled charioteer, but a divine presence, taking on human form. Krishna was the boundless force behind the Pandavas, guiding them into a battle that would forever shape the legacy of the Bharata dynasty. His role was to restore balance in a world that teetered on the edge of chaos. Death is inevitable for the living. Birth is inevitable for the dead. Unknown. Key point 4. The energies of the universe. Krishna teaches that the key to spiritual growth is transcending the three natural qualities or gunas. He also reveals that he is the force behind them, patiently explaining their purpose and effects on the soul. Tamas, the lowest of the three, is the force of inertia and ignorance. In this state, energy is locked up, as if in a block of ice, unable to move or transform. Tamas manifests confusion, laziness, and apathy in the mind, binding people in ignorance. It conceals the unity of existence, much like darkness obscuring vision. Tamas is our unconscious mind, the reservoir of past impressions, instincts, and self-centered urges. Rajas represents activity, desire, and restlessness. It is energy in motion, like a river swollen with water, full of power but lacking direction or control. Rajas propels us into action, driven by passion and ambition. However, it often scatters the mind and distracts us from perceiving reality as it truly is. Rajas fuels the endless stream of thoughts and emotions that keep the mind in turbulence. Sattva is the quality of purity and harmony. The highest of the gunas, it's like vibrant steam, so potent that, when channeled effectively, it can lead to powerful transformations. Sattva brings clarity, compassion, and a deeper understanding of how everything in life is connected. Negative impulses may still arise under the influence of sattva, but they no longer dominate or dictate behavior. The gunas constantly interact and influence everything from actions and thoughts to even the food we eat. Sattvic food, for example, like fresh fruit, is light and nourishing. Rajasic is spicy and intense, while tamasic dulls the mind with its staleness. One of the gunas may dominate at any moment, but all three are present in some measure. Forgiveness isn't always easy, but it can release the ego's grip and help you let go of old wounds. Although sattva is the most desirable state, it still binds the soul. True liberation comes when we rise above the gunas entirely. This is the path to unity with the divine, where the soul rests in the undisturbed joy of pure consciousness. Key point 5. 2 paths to enlightenment. Amid the battlefield, Arjuna wrestled with a new question. Is the highest path to enlightenment found by stepping away from worldly life entirely, or can liberation be reached while still engaged in the world? Throughout history, there have been examples of complete renunciation. Take the Buddha, who abandoned the luxury of a palace and every comfort imaginable to wander as a seeker without attachments. His story echoes the deep longing to break free from the relentless cycle of suffering, but his path demands absolute detachment that few can truly embrace. Krishna listened to Arjuna's doubts and acknowledged the power of renunciation. Yet he gently turned Arjuna's attention toward a different path, karma yoga, the way of selfless action within the world. It doesn't require leaving behind life's responsibilities. Instead, it means fulfilling them without expecting rewards. In karma yoga, every act is an offering. Just as water slides off the lotus leaf, karma yogis perform their duties without any attachment or selfish desire. Align with the qualities that bring you purpose. These are the anchors of your true self. Krishna recalled King Janaka as a shining example of a man who chose the path of selfless action. Janaka ruled wisely and acted out of a sense of duty, not for personal gain. Despite his position of power, he remained focused on the greater good, balancing his worldly duties with spiritual growth, showing that one can serve both without abandoning either. Knowledge and action are not, at their core, separate. They both lead to the realization of the Atman, which is beyond the reach of the external world. And so, Krishna encouraged Arjuna to embrace his path with wisdom, knowing that true freedom is found amidst the world's noise as it is in silence. Did you know? Research by Oxford academic in 2020 shows that recent Indian Supreme Court decisions regarding marriage and temple access for women mark a broader shift toward gender inclusion within Hindu society. Key point 6. Achieving mental clarity. To fulfill his dharma, Arjuna had to master the essence of yoga, which doesn't refer to the physical exercises, hatha yoga, many people associate it with today. Instead, it's about training the mind to achieve mental equilibrium, Samkhya yoga. The main ideas behind it are balance, avoid being swayed by impulses, desires, or external circumstances. Instead, cultivate a steady, calm mind. Knowledge, sharpen your ability to distinguish between the transient material world, prakriti, and your pure spirit, purusha. Inner divinity. Realize that your purusha is beyond the physical body and mind, untouched by worldly changes. A small act of goodwill can inspire someone else, creating an endless cycle of positive change. Arjuna, still restless, confessed that his mind was too turbulent. He felt as though he was trying to catch the wind in his hands when he tried to tame it. Krishna insisted it's possible with dedication and detachment and taught Arjuna to create the right conditions for a steady mind with meditation. Choose a quiet place. Just as a seed needs suitable soil to grow, the mind needs a setting that encourages stillness. A clean, calm, and dedicated space for meditation is a sanctuary where external distractions fade. Fix the posture. Keep the spine, neck, and head aligned yet relaxed. Although it might not seem all that important, this posture keeps energy flowing evenly and helps prevent drowsiness. Moderation is everything. Extremes disrupt the mind's peace. Don't treat yourself too harshly or overindulge. Remember, a balanced diet and adequate sleep nourish the body and mind. Whenever Arjuna refocused his mind, he strengthened his inner resolve, moving ever closer to stillness. Yet, a quiet worry appeared in his heart. What if someone set out on this path but didn't reach the end? Were all their struggles in vain? Krishna met his gaze and answered without hesitation, "No step toward self-mastery is ever wasted. Every bit of progress carries forward, drawing the soul closer to the divine. Lifetime after lifetime." Key point 7. The Creator and Time itself. In a rare somber tone, Krishna spoke to Arjuna of two opposing forces within human nature. On one side lies a higher divine path that leads the soul toward liberation and lasting happiness. On the other, a darker demonic path that traps the spirit in suffering. Krishna's compassion for Arjuna was evident as he warned Arjuna of the dangers lurking in the human heart, where these darker inclinations also reside. The demonic mindset dismisses any higher order, viewing life solely as a chase for personal desires. Krishna painted a vivid picture of a realm ruled by arrogance, hypocrisy, and insatiable greed, where people pursue power and wealth, believing they're unstoppable, even godlike. Still, the prince was in harmony with the divine path, so he shouldn't be scared. A person on this path acts truthfully, lives freely, and avoids malice, greed, and pride. Through wisdom and virtue, the soul can escape the downward pull of these dark traits, rising to a higher destiny that awaits every seeker of truth. This revelation created something deep within Arjuna, but Krishna wasn't finished. He granted Arjuna a vision, allowing him to see his true form, an immense and overwhelming figure, multi-armed, all-seeing, containing all gods, all beings, all worlds within himself. Arjuna saw the warriors on both sides of the battlefield rushing toward Krishna's vast form, helplessly drawn to him like moths to a flame. Some were crushed in his jaws, others disappeared into the endless depths of his being. As Arjuna witnessed this cosmic form, he trembled, overwhelmed by fear and awe. Krishna's voice declared that he is both creator and destroyer, the force that propels existence and brings it to an end. See a little of yourself in others to strengthen every connection you make. Arjuna realized that the battle's outcome had already been decided, not by the might of either army, but by Krishna's will. The prince, no longer conflicted, finally had a steady mind and clear heart. All that remained for him was to fulfill his role as a warrior, as an instrument of divine action, free from any concerns. Conclusion. In a world where decisions can be overwhelming and our identities are often in flux, there is no place for easy answers. Krishna offered Arjuna the path, but stepping into battle remained Arjuna's choice, symbolizing the balance between divine guidance and human free will. Ultimately, we each face this same choice, to drift through life or to meet internal and external challenges with purpose, free from doubt and attachment. It is the highest work, shaping the self and weaving into the unseen connections that bind us all. Try this. Instead of focusing on what's left to do, list things you've accomplished each day to celebrate your effort. If you're new to meditation, start small. Sit quietly for 2 minutes each morning, focusing on your breath. Even a few mindful breaths can make a difference. When negative emotions arise, don't let them control you. Pause, acknowledge them, and choose a thoughtful response. Summary complete. Please take a moment to rate it so we can help you grow in the best way possible.